Yeah. Well, 5 straight top 25s, is a lot. And what I've loved about this process has been the way our team has approached it and how they've allowed each of these opportunities, while challenging as they have been, to make us better. And they've accepted the challenge and they've risen. And I thought for large stretches tonight, we showed a lot of progress, and then ultimately you got to give Stanford a ton of credit. I mean, I think they're the best team. They're as deep as anybody that I've seen. And the inside presence and then the outside ability to knock shots down, along with the commitment to the defensive end of the floor, is just, it's tough. It's tough. It's what great teams are, and they're a great team. And so I liked our fight for most of the night, and then it got away from us in the fourth quarter, and we got beat in the boards. Late third quarter, actually. Rebounding hurt us. Give them credit. And then, I thought Hannah Jump's 2 threes, those back-to-back threes, I thought was the dagger in this game. It was, I think, a 7-point game, maybe 5, and she went back-to-back with deep threes, and that was the separation that I think kind of just fueled that fourth quarter for them and allowed them just to obviously run away from us, in the fourth. So I really like the progress I'm seeing from our team. Most of the night we did a great job in defensive transition. That was progress for us. And so we just keep building and we keep getting better. And this team really challenges you to even find shots. And I thought tonight, we really worked well together, finding shots for most of the night and then making tough shots. And I thought our freshmen, all 3 of them, played really big in this game. They played fearless. They attacked the rim. They looked for shots. Corosdale had another tough game, just being a gritty competitor for us, scoring and rebounding, always having a big defensive assignment. So Taya Adams changed the pace of the game when she came in and really, I thought, gave us offense, and so we had a lot of good things in this game, even though obviously the fourth quarter didn't go the way we wanted.
Hey, Coach, you actually anticipated what I was going to ask. Your 3 freshman guards, you've talked all season about them learning what they can and can't get away from with, at this level. What did you see in them tonight, especially in that second half, with the way you put them back out on the floor? It looked like it was like, here's the deep end of the pool. And how do you feel like they responded to that?
The Pac-12 is the deep end, and they've been in it, for a long time, and certainly Stanford is the deepest end of the pool. And so I think just poise, I think understanding, I think you just see confidence from them when they get the ball. They're more aware. They have more information before the catch, where earlier in conference schedule, things would surprise them and lead to a turnover, a bad shot. And you see those things going away with more recognition. They were more patient. They waited for space a little bit more tonight. They attacked in straighter lines, strong. They took better shots, than before. And because of that, it's just what happens. It's what this league does for you. You stick with it through the Pac-12. What it does for your career, you're ready for anything. It's the most dynamic conference in the country for the way the teams are coached and the different things that you will see. I think collectively it's the best defensive group of teams in the country from top to bottom. And I know there's great defensive teams throughout the country, so don't get me wrong here. But collectively, 1 through 12, right now, what did Washington win tonight? No. Okay, so Washington still hasn't won, yet Nancy Mulkey's on their team. And so you're playing them and you're seeing something that you're not seeing anywhere else. And so you just think about all the different looks that you're going to get. If you just stick with it and you keep showing up every day and letting this thing develop you, you become an elite offensive player by the end. And they're on that progression right now, and it's fun to watch.
Taya, Coach has credited you during this tough stretch with being one of the leaders that helped keep everybody's spirits up during this very difficult stretch. What has these last 5 games been like? It's like an experience that nobody else has had in a long time, a gauntlet like this.
Yeah, like Coach said, we're playing some really tough teams these last 5 games, and I think that we're just learning, every time we play, and so that's all we can do is just learn and move on, and so I thought that we've done really well with this tough stretch.
Talia, what do you learn from playing against Anna Wilson when she's guarding you?
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the best defenders in the country. She demands your absolute best. You can't relax for a second because she's always swiping. So I think I did an okay job with her guarding me, but yeah, she was super tough, super hard to get by, so you have to work for everything. So yeah, it was a cool challenge.
Scott, I know there's a bunch of challenges playing Stanford, but one of the challenges, it seems like, with their depth is not running out of gas. How do you not run out of gas against this team?
It's a great question. You gotta match their depth, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, apparently nobody knows because nobody's beaten them. Not since before Christmas, right? Have they lost to anybody? And so that's what makes them what they are. Their starters are so veteran and they're so good, and then you come in and, I mean, you're bringing Jump off the bench, right? And then Kiki's playing like a veteran in the post right now, and so that's what makes a great team great. Not only do you have, your core is good, but your depth is good and talented and committed to the culture of the team, and so they don't drop off defensively, very little anyway, when they go to their bench, which allows those kids to, settle in offensively too. So for us, it's just getting gritty and digging down and playing perfect position, and I think the mind has to overcome it, and I think that's what we're learning as a group is just how hard you have to concentrate, and I think that is what we've taken the biggest strides in. You look at the way we played Sunday at Oregon. We gave up a bunch of transition. We had a bunch of mistakes in transition. We had defensive mistakes. Even you look at how we played Stanford last time at their place. I felt like they could have scored 100 if they 112, 120 in that game if they wanted to. We have grown so much in a week and a half, or however long it's been, in our angles, our intensity, our attention to detail. And so that's why I was saying I wish we would have had that first Stanford game, because anytime you play this team, it advances you. It always advances us. We have some of the best competitors and people you could find that are going to take these lessons and make the most of them. Not playing that game the second week of January slowed our growth, because it would have bumped us way forward because we would have had film to learn from. We got that film last week, and we've learned a lot. And then we got the Oregon film, and we've learned a lot. And then we got the next Oregon film, and we conquered a lot, and we found a way to grit that out and win it because of that intensity and that accuracy, that it demands, and it's mostly mental, and so then tonight you saw us play really good against what I think is the best team in the country for 3 quarters, and then they overcame us, in that fourth quarter, and it got away from us, but it's a sign of great things.
I don't know who to address this to specifically, but you guys are a team that likes to share the ball. You pride yourself on assists and everything like that, and we've talked about this being probably the best team in the country, very tough on defense, obviously. They held you guys to just 9 assists tonight. Got to be close to a season, though, I'm guessing, and we talked about them being a really, really tough, stingy defensive team, but what do you think you can learn from that, like, after playing them and going forward when you're playing a really tough defense, because, the tournament's coming up, Pac-12 tournament, everything like that. What do you think you can learn from that?
Well, I think I'll go first, and you guys can add whatever you'd like to that. But it's a good point. We've played teams that have chosen, to play us one-on-one. And I think when we had our very best defensive teams here, there were very few situations where we had to help. We were able to defend one-on-one in almost every situation. They did that to us tonight. They made us go play one-on-one and just score against them. They did a good job switching, denying, and then, you're looking around and nobody's open, and you've got to go make a play. So passing on time, seeing the floor extremely clear, so that when those windows are open and you can move it on the pass. The margin for error is so small, and the windows are so short and small that if you miss it, it's over, and now you're stuck with the basketball. So tonight, you saw AJ get to the rim. You saw Tigo score at the rim. You saw Taya take it to the rim. You saw Greta take it to the rim, and Taya Adams take it to the rim, Emily Cotting. Well, that's what they made us do tonight. It's a similar style that UCLA's used over the years, where it's like, hey, you guys, this is just one-on-one. And Stanford provides a little more help at the rim, but tonight they really kind of just dared us to play one-on-one, which took assists off the table, So It kind of just adapts to whoever you're playing, you know. Is that how it felt?
Yeah, you covered it. Yeah, for sure.
Talia, after the game, you sat on the bench for a long time with your head down, and you looked super frustrated. I just wondered if you would tell us what was going through your head at that point.
Yeah, I think it's just been a tough 5 games, and we're getting a lot better. So for that to not pay off and the game to end the way it did, it's just frustrating. But like you said, that's a really good team, and we're getting better. So I think we're just going to learn from it and take it into the next few games.
Last question, Coach. Tara called you guys an NCAA tournament team. Got 3 regular season games to go. How are you feeling about that? What's the challenge? What do you think you got to do to make that a reality?
Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what we need to do. What we can do is just keep getting better, and that's where I put my focus. You know, I've always said, you know, you just win and take it out of the committee's hands, and that's been, you know, control what you can control. What can we control? Getting better and finding ways to win, you know, and so certainly winning will help. And so it starts with Cal Sunday, you know, then we go to the mountains, and then we go to Vegas. And how many games can we win in this stretch? Well, the more the better, for sure. You know, as far as talent and ability and the way that we're playing, I don't think anybody would really want to see us in the tournament, which tells me we're probably a tournament team, you know, and that's what everybody came here for, and that's, you know, what we all want to do, of course. And so, you know, I look at our schedule. We didn't do makeup game. The Pac-12 did our makeup games, sent us to Washington State, sent us to Stanford, and then we made up Colorado here. We did not have, we missed Utah here, we missed Arizona State here, and we missed at Cal. You know, certainly not going to sit here and tell you, of course, we'd win all those games, but I would say we'd probably be favored in all 3 of those games, you know, which would help our record, but we didn't get to play those. So I think, you know, it's another year where the committee has to be savvy, and they have to think outside the box. We can't just get locked into a rating. We have to look at everybody's story and say, who are the best teams, you know, in the country deserving? And if you look at our schedule, what would most teams' schedule be, or record be with this schedule? You know, our preseason was better than anyone thought. Michigan's better than anyone thought. Notre Dame's better than people thought. And so is Villanova, you know, and Villanova was a game where we didn't have Taylor Jones for the first time, and T was in the hospital till 2 a.m. the night before, and, you know, was a shell of herself that day and didn't score. So neither of our 2 top scorers scored in that game, you know, and so, you know, if you look at all these circumstances, I mean, I think if anybody looked at our roster, they'd say, yeah, it's a tournament team, you know. So, yeah, so I believe we are, but I also believe we, just like every team, you just got to keep getting better and make our strongest case. All right, thank you very much.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs.